What do you think is the best response, given that we have an individual now who we know has it and they're in the United States?
Well, I think the best response is education. We have the best system of preventative measures in the world, but yet at the same time we need to educate the communities. So I think it's important that we not act in an alarmed fashion, but just have responsible, methodical education. It's my understanding that when it comes to the actual hospitals and facilities that will have to receive individuals that may have Ebola, that we're doing well there. But again, until we see them be challenged, we'll have yet to see if they're actually truly ready. But we're getting strong assurances that they are. But the best thing is education.
Do you think we should actually cut off visas or reduce visas to countries that actually
Again, that would be reacting in an alarmed fashion. I think that what we ought to do is the education domestically and also education abroad, and make sure that we have the kind of communication and the honesty with us and other governments that we need to be making sure that they understand the seriousness of it. And then respond after we find out if they're acting responsibly, then we can go ahead and be more trusting. But otherwise, then we'll take action just based on facts, not based on hyperbole, not based on being upset or reactionary.
Is there anything in particular you think the funding so far that the U.S. has put up for Ebola should be directed toward?
Well, first of all, I think that when you're talking about this Congress, and especially the House that I'm in right now, I think that these kinds of situations expose the fact that we've been cutting way too much in areas that aren't as visible. And it's until things like this happen that we start to realize that we shouldn't have cut those things. And I blame that a lot on my Republican colleagues, that they constantly just grind down and grind down and grind down to make it look like we can't move forward unless we make these cuts. And 50 million here, 500 million there to a country our size and a country that most of the world is depending on to show them how to get things done right. It's those kinds of cuts that start to expose themselves when we have situations like this. And I hope that we're still in good stead, but at the same time, it's those kinds of things that really show, unfortunately, when the unexpected happens. So let's talk about this event. What do you want to know about this event?
Well, this event, so we've got Hispanic community in the media in particular and entertainment.
Yeah.
Do you think there's anything that the federal government should be doing in terms of diversity, or do you think what we have right now with the Hispanic community's representation in the media and entertainment is adequate?
Oh no, the Hispanic community is woefully underrepresented in front of the camera, behind the camera, in the boardrooms, etc. I think that it's really important for us to understand that private industry has to do its part. Look, every industry has its hiccups. Every industry has things that they can improve on. Every industry. But when you talk about a regulated industry, like the media industry, that's where the government can, in fact, do more and be more proactive. I think that the government should demand from the private industry that's regulated they actually show their diversity numbers, and that they show that they actually have an effort to try to get good, qualified individuals to be able to move into positions where they can be promoted and they can represent. And with all due respect, that, at the end of the day, is good business. And the fastest growing demographic in the United States, and the largest growing demographic when it comes to the amount of dollars that are being spent, such as the movie theaters, etc., is coming from the Hispanic community. So therefore, like I said, it's good business. If they can actually try to understand that culture, and the best way to do that is have good decision makers who understand cultures, they will do better for it as a business. But at the same time, it's also about inspiring and also making sure that our young people have examples that they can look to and say, I can be the next Ricky Martin, or I can be the next newscaster, or I can be that movie star, or I can be that CEO or COO.